All right, what is going on, everybody? It's your host, Rock D. Lee. We're jumping into, y'all already know, more heat. It's Warhammer. Just a quick status update if y'all are new here. I just, at the time of this recording, just did the Orc video. And if you guys have dope series to suggest, make sure you do that under the pinned comment. That makes it easier for me to find things when I'm looking back, a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now. I'm going to be going down this series. Why am I doing that? They're short, they're sweet, they're spicy, they're interesting. In between these series, as I'm looking at your suggestions, if y'all just got some dope lore I can check out on the days when I can record things for an hour, then I'll check out some of the longer ones. Really sticking with the hour 10 minutes max. This original video, which I stumbled upon, was like 5 hours, and thankfully they have things broken up for me or for us, so that's how we're gonna digest the media. But with no further ado, we're just going to jump into the heat. I've thought about League of Legends after we've absorbed dope Warhammer lore, and that's just where we're at for now. But bear with me. Gotta make sure I have my notes ready, and we're about to start. All right, so if you guys see me typing away, just know that I have some notes. So I just did the orcs, and if I see something that's dope, I'm just gonna go ahead and record. I'm gonna go. Sorry, I got distracted with this monitor. If I see something dope, I'm gonna jot it down and not take up too much of the video time. Let's do it.
The greatest virtues and glories of the Emperor. Forged from aspects of his divine image, all would be alike to gods. The Primarchs of his Imperium would embody the greatest virtues and glories of the Emperor. Forged from aspects of his divine image, all would be alike to gods among men in their actions as artificers, statesmen, and warriors. Yet despite their progeny, many would fall to the corruptions of chaos, and with such an act divide the Imperium in twain, and hearken a dismal future in their wake. Today, we shall elucidate every one of the Primarchs of the Imperium.
I'm an idiot, man. I'm gonna watch the introduction, but this is what I'm supposed to watch. But I'm gonna watch the introduction. And then I'll check on the second video, 'cause I never did.
Should they be loyalist or traitor? For only in observing their moments of greatest virtue and most treacherous atrocities may the Imperium learn from their downfall.
In warfare, preparation is the key. Determine that which you're...
Okay, yeah, my bad. So it's not too much. Now we're going to the
measured
official.
by the quality of the foes.
Today we're checking out the Phoenician. The Phoenician.
For years we have blunted our blades against lesser species and backwards primitives. But now this war, this glorious cataclysm, it presents us a chance to display for all eternity our perfection in the arena of war against the most formidable foe we shall ever face.
Our perfection in the arena of war.
Legionaries.
Oh.
And for this, we humbly thank him,
Our brother legionaries.
our dear father, whose name we carry.
Dope sons. Fulgrim.
The Primarchs of his Imperium were each crafted to exemplify the Emperor's, and by extension, humanity's greatest virtues and traits.
Okay.
Statesmen, generals, and orators. These individuals would unite the disparate fragments of humanity by using their unique, godlike power. Yet many of the Primarchs would fall from grace, with few more unfortunate than that of one of the most promising of his children.
Oh, we
The
can't be doing
Primarch
horse.
of the Third Legion,
It had to be Fulgrim.
Fulgrim.
I was foolish. The video literally is about
With the
Fulgrim.
scattering of the Primarchs prior to the dawn of the Great Crusade, the gestation pod of the Primarch of the Third Legion would land on the mining world of Chemos.
Okay.
A
See, this
bleak
video
and
reminded
pitiless
us
world
that in the
surrounded
beginning.
by
The
a
other one
nebula
didn't.
of thick dust and soot. Chemos would be a harsh taskmaster of its people,
taskmaster of his
Settled
people.
during the Dark Age of technology,
Dark
the
Age of
planet would be
technology.
isolated by warp storms from the wider civilizations across the stars.
Give me a sec. Dark Age of technology. I vaguely remember that. So I'm gonna get that refreshed. What is the Dark Age of technology? Okay.
Illuminated in perpetual twilight, Chemos' citizenry would labor day and night without pause to create enough resources for their survival. Thick
Jeez.
with harmful vapors,
They were working
the
with
fortress
without
factories
money.
of the world would demand ceaseless toil from its people,
Fortress.
should they all wish to prevent a global starvation.
Jeez.
With trade almost impossible between neighboring planets, the Chemosians would accept their dour fate of doomed rationing and endless hard
rationing.
labor. Yet with the arrival of the
These people were not working for $1. They was working because they had to. They was working like a colony of insects, if that makes sense. They just do it.
Primarch to the planet, a renewal of its fortunes would commence. Discovering the beautiful child, the policing force known as the Caretakers would beg Chemos' leaders of Calax, the executives, to spare the child's life. Orphans of Chemos were routinely culled to prevent further strain on the planet's dwindling resources.
Orphans.
Yet fortunately for the young Primarch, the executives would allow a member of the Caretakers to raise the child.
Unfortunately, they
Naming
did.
the boy Fulgrim after the Chemosian legend, it would not be long before the young Primarch would be tasked to labor within the mines of his new homeworld.
Oh, that's where he built his strength, I
Maturing
imagine.
quickly, Fulgrim would be sent to work within the labor mines of the planet.
Okay.
Quickly understanding the faltering and obsolete equipment of the factory, Fulgrim would modify and improve upon their designs.
Oh, Fulgrim.
Dramatically
I
increasing
know
the
his name
machine's
has
rule.
something to do with
It would
exactly
not
what we're
take long for
watching.
the executives of the factory to take notice of the genius child diligently improving the lot of his people.
I know right off the jump, Fulgrim, because it reminds me of a fulcrum, a fulcrum. I feel like it's already has to do with technology in the name. Fulgrim. Fulcrum.
For 15 years, Fulgrim would tinker with the machinery and be promoted to the rank of an executive of the fortress factory of Calax.
Okay.
Observing the plight of the factory workers in a new light, Fulgrim would train and organize engineers to travel with him to each neighboring factory.
That would only improve the
Under his
overall planet.
guidance, the engineers would repair and improve the factory's machinery. Salvaging long-dormant artifacts from the Age of Strife,
Age
the
of
mining
Strife.
production of the planet would exponentially improve,
Age of Strife.
allowing for free time to construct new machines to further improve efficiency to the factories.
Ah.
Fulgrim would overhaul the entire planet's infrastructure and living standards. Creating surpluses and reducing pollution, Chemos' trade routes would begin to burgeon, and within a few years,
One thing that really caught my attention is society was not able to progress because they spent so much time on maintenance, just maintaining this stuff. So now that these stuff are working properly and require less maintenance, now these genius minds can go back to innovating and building new stuff. So you can imagine how efficiency is
Fulgrim
greatly
had
increased.
ascended to become the ruler of the planet. The only Primarch to rule his homeworld with peaceful means, Fulgrim would prove to be a compassionate, kind, and dependable boon to the people of Chemos. Yet
When does
with
this
the
man
arrival
start
of
fighting?
the Emperor of Mankind to the planet,
Oh, the Emperor
Fulgrim
of
would
Mankind
resign
showed
his
up.
mantle of rulership. Falling to his knees once an audience of the Master of Mankind, Fulgrim would pledge himself and his homeworld in service to the Imperium. Swearing to serve the needs of his Imperium with all his heart, Fulgrim would accompany his father to Holy Terror.
Holy terror.
Learning of the slow decline of the Third Legion in his absence,
Okay.
Fulgrim would address his remaining 200 Astartes.
Oh my god.
So inspiring was his speech, the Emperor would give the title of Emperor's Children to the Third
Emperor's
Legion
Children.
and gift them the right to bear his own Imperial Aquila on
Oh,
their
that's
armor.
cool.
Wearing the double-headed eagle with pride, the Emperor's
Double-headed
children,
eagle.
under the command of Fulgrim, would venture forth to prove their worth in the eyes of the Imperium.
That's why Fulgrim always had the bird.
Burdened with the
Depicted
responsibility
on his
to prove
arm.
themselves worthy of the Emperor's
Hand.
favor, Fulgrim and his legion would strive to become paragons of humanity.
Paragons of
Seeking
humanity.
perfection in not only battle, but also culture, the Emperor's children would champion artistry and aesthetic splendor in their dealings as a legion. Embodying the
Let's see if I
traits
can
of
make that
beauty,
clear.
poise, and elegance, Fulgrim would demand a high standard of regal bearing within his legion.
strengthening their resolve and bolstering
Their armor
their
looks
dwindling
fire.
numbers. The Emperor's children would
Looks-
serve as aristocratic negotiators
I should say
and
clean,
public
if
embodiments
anything.
of the Imperium's will. Mentored closely by the Primarch of the Lunar Wolves, Horus
Primarch of
Lupercal,
the Lunar
the
Wolves.
Emperor's foremost senior general would teach Fulgrim and his slowly rebuilding legion on the arts of war.
Slowly rebuilding
With his
legion.
teachings complete, and the Third Legion now at fighting strength,
Perfect.
Fulgrim would anxiously embark to bring glory to his Emperor's children.
Perfect.
Forming an unlikely, yet cherished friendship with the Primarch of the 10th Legion, Ferrus Manus, during
Ferrus
the Great Crusade.
Manus.
The Emperor's most starkly contrasting brothers would work together on many campaigns to
Starkly
bring
contrasted
compliance to the
brothers.
galaxy.
Compliance.
Both masters of craftsmanship, alchemy, and scientific genius,
Okay.
the Primarchs would further strengthen their bond with a contest of skill.
Okay.
Crafting
Technology,
weapons fit for a god
alchemy.
of war, the Phoenician and his affectionately
Phoenician.
named Gorgon would create
Phoenician.
weapons of legendary splendor. Ferrus Manus would craft a sword known as Fireblade, wreathed in flame, alike to the Emperor's own personal weapon,
That is
whilst
cool.
Fulgrim would construct Forgebreaker, a
Mjolnir.
warhammer capable of sundering mountains in hands strong enough to wield it.
Oh, you can't just
Preferring
wield it
each
without
other
the
as
right
winner
hands.
Of the contest. As a sign of respect, the two Primarchs would gift one another their master-crafted weapons.
Oh.
Carrying them into battle, legends would be sung of the two like-minded brothers charging into battle with their weapons aloft and legions at their vanguard.
That is so cool. Look at all the
Yet
guns this man
unfortunately,
has.
Such a bond would be tested.
Oh,
and
it's going
fractured
so
with
good.
the
Come
betrayal of the
on.
Imperium by the Primarch of the 16th Legion, Horus
Oh.
Lupercal.
Jeez. Horus
As the
Lupercal.
War Master of the Imperium began his slow descent into the thrall of chaos, Fulgrim
Thrall of
would begin
chaos.
his own corrupting pilgrimage. Leading the 28th Expeditionary Fleet during the conquest of the Laeran species, Fulgrim would begin to be enticed by the influence of the ruinous powers.
Oh,
Known to the
Fulgrim.
Imperium as the planet 28-3,
Oh my god,
Laer
his head.
Xenos would guard the resource-rich planet from Imperial advances. Dispatching his Astartes, Fulgrim would
Astartes.
descend upon the planet and begin the slow month-long extermination of the serpentine Laeran Xenos.
Serpentine.
Discovering a strange temple within the coral nexus of the ocean planet,
Ocean
Fulgrim would
planet.
investigate the structure.
So y'all was fighting
Unknowingly,
people underwater.
Stepping into a temple devoted to the chaos entity known as Slanesh, Fulgrim would
Chaos
find within the heart
entities,
of the temple
Slanesh.
a peculiar artifact. The demon blade, known as the Blade of the Laer, would call to Fulgrim,
Oh my
whispering
gosh.
subtle treacheries into Fulgrim's very soul. The
I think I
Primarch of
remember
the
this
Emperor's
one.
children would claim the blade as his own. Relegating
I remember a sword. Now I'm like thinking if this is it, where literally no one else could hold the sword, otherwise it'd give into the thoughts and like fall into chaos. So I'm assuming this is a guy that does not fall into chaos and can just wield it. But it seems like they've been indicating that he's about to be because he's been tempted by the chaos. But I think he's got tempted, got the sword, and he's just able to wield it. And he's the only one. Relegating Fireblade, his most prized symbol, to his most cherished brother. He got rid of Fireblade. Okay.
Fireblade, his most prized symbol of his most cherished brother, and
Crazy.
favoring the Laer blade in battle, the influence of the greater demon within the sword would grow exponentially.
Greater demon in
Wrongly
the sword.
interpreting the intrusive thoughts of the demon as his own subconscious,
Oh no.
Fulgrim's descent into madness would be assured.
Ah, never mind. I had
With
faith
Horus
in him.
Lupercal's corruption by the ruinous powers complete, the War Master of Chaos would call to his likewise damned brother to join his betrayal of the Imperium.
Terrible.
Heeding the call of his brother and once mentor,
Terrible.
Fulgrim would begin his ever-worsening descent into madness with the persecution of the Diasporex.
Persecution of the Diasporex.
The Iron Hands, led by their Primarch Ferrus Manus,
Ferrus
would be tasked with
Manus.
achieving compliance with the human elements of the Xenos-Human Coalition,
There's
known
so much
as the
information.
Diasporex.
Diasporex.
With the Diasporex declining the invitation to join the Imperium, the Iron Tenth would begin their purge of the civilization.
Jeez, just join or
Competent in
die.
naval warfare, the Diasporex would prove a difficult foe to destroy. Calling to his
When they say naval warfare, do they mean like on water or like in space?
most stalwart allies, Ferrus would
'Cause of the
petition aid
ships.
from Fulgrim and the Third Legion to add their blades to the fight. Together, the Iron Hands and Emperor's children would crush the Diasporex, but not without Fulgrim's ego being damaged due to his own reckless actions.
Oh no.
The malevolent influence of the Laer blade
would feed Fulgrim's resentment of his
No.
brother's selfless and heroic actions to aid his
No,
forces.
man.
With the diasporics slain, Fulgrim would travel to the ancient Eldar craftworld of Ulfway and be confronted by the Asavani Farseer, Eldrad Ulfrain.
These names,
Warning
fam.
Fulgrim of the Warmaster's impending betrayal, Fulgrim would, with the influence of the Laer blade, unleash his outrage at the Eldar's accusations of his cherished brother. With the aid of his Phoenix Guard, Fulgrim would slaughter Eldrad's Eldar retinue and cause the Farseer to retreat.
Oh, man.
Ordering his fleet to virus bomb several Eldari worlds, Fulgrim's rage would not be sated. Seeking answers from Horus in person, Fulgrim would, despite his objections to Eldrad's assertions, succumb to the charisma and charm of the Warmaster and join in his plot for
I'm disappointed in
his
Fulgrim.
respect for his second closest brother, enough to turn his back on the Emperor. Promised true perfection should he submit to the powers of chaos, Fulgrim would meet once more with his most adored brother,
Ferrus Manus.
in an attempt to sway the Iron Tenth to join the traitor cause.
Of course he doesn't join. Look at the fire around that
On
handle.
the world of Kalanides IV, the Iron
fighting the
Hands
orcs.
wrested control of the planet from the Orc menace.
The Orc Menace.
Meeting with Ferrus Manus, Fulgrim would naively declare his allegiance to the plot to destroy the Imperium.
Why, man?
Enraged,
I
the
actually
stalwart
know
hero
why,
of
but still.
humanity,
Oh.
Ferrus Manus would
Oh,
attack
look at his
Fulgrim.
hands.
His duty to the Imperium and loyalty to the Emperor as unshakable as iron, Ferrus would destroy his once bond of kinship, Fireblade, from Fulgrim's grasp with his own hands.
Oh.
With the sword's destruction, Ferrus
Oh.
would be incapacitated, with Fulgrim taking his own craft, Forgebreaker, in his
Oh,
hands.
of course.
Unable to slay his brother, Fulgrim would settle for slaughtering the Gorgon's Morlock honor guard. The Emperor's children would submit to the thrall of the being known as Slanesh, and with their mutated bodies and souls, reinforce the Warmaster's staging ground of the Istvaan system.
Jeez.
With Horus's betrayal laid bare for all to see, the Emperor would dispatch his remaining loyal sons to bring the traitors to justice.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I actually felt that story. I was liking the Fulgrim Brotherhood. I was liking the Fulgrim come up. I guess it makes sense because he was one of the few that conquered through peace. One of the few sons who conquered through peace. So ironically, this dude turns into a warmongering maniac and then betrays his father and his empire, his Imperium. And that's not someone you would expect. So it's like, dang, man. And there's nothing like two homies that was close and then one gets the jealousy. So I actually am disappointed to hear of how Fulgrim turned. And that's probably going to be the case when I get through many of their stories. I wonder how I'm going to feel when I get to the explanation of Horus. I'm sure he's going to do a video of Horus. Because, I know already that he's the traitor or led the betrayal. Led the betrayal.
Charge to Istvaan V.
Istvaan V.
Alongside the Salamanders and Raven Guard legions, the Loyalists would face the traitors in battle. Against the World Eaters, Death Guard, Sons of Horus, and their own most hated foe, the Emperor's children,
The Emperor's
Iron
children.
Hands would seek to destroy the Phoenician and his ilk.
Iron Hands.
Yet as the second
Phoenician.
wave of reinforcements to the battle arrived, the legion sent to purge the traitors to the throne would instead join them. The Iron Warriors, Night Lords, Word Bearers, and Alpha Legion would turn on the Loyalists and outnumber their forces with overwhelming firepower.
My God.
Ferrus Manus, betrayed once more, would face his beloved brother, Fulgrim, in battle.
Again.
Armed with the reforged Fireblade, Ferrus Manus would make a desperate final act to avenge his honor guard, lost friendship, and the memory of his once virtuous brother.
This man looks like
Upon
Lucifer.
the Urgal depression, Fulgrim and Ferrus would clash, yet armed with the demonically imbued demon blade, Fulgrim would cleave Ferrus's head from his body with a slice of the Laer blade. As if awakening from a deep slumber, Fulgrim would look upon his slain brother and grieve at his heinous actions.
Oh, what?
Stricken with grief, Fulgrim would submit to the whispers of the Laer blade, which promised to absolve him from his sorrow.
That doesn't work like that.
Freed from its prison, the greater demon would
Oh,
possess
man.
Fulgrim's body
Oh.
and imprison the Phoenician soul.
The Phoenician soul.
Now replaced by the demon of the Laer blade, Fulgrim would exponentially hasten the corruption of the Emperor's children.
Man is
Revealing
gone.
itself to the Warmaster, Horus and the demon would reach an understanding that it shall remain in control of the Phoenician's body should it continue to aid the traitor war effort. gifting the severed head of the first Primarch to fall during the heresy, Ferrus Manus. The demonically possessed Fulgrim would join the remaining 7 Primarchs of the traitor cause at the conclave above Horus's flagship, the Vengeful Spirit.
Man.
Lord Aurelian, Primarch of the Wordbearers Legion.
I'm so disappointed.
Within Fulgrim
It is what it
and
is.
attempt to exorcise it from the Phoenician's body.
Oh.
Failing to dominate the being, Lorgar would weaken the demon's hold on its prey, yet withdraw from the conclave, unsuccessful in his attempt to free his brother.
Dang.
Upon the Emperor's Children flagship, Pride of the Emperor,
the
senior members
Emperor.
of the 3rd Legion would continue efforts to exorcise their Primarch.
Oh, they're trying.
Under the supervision of the Chief Apothecary,
They're trying.
Thaddeus Bile, Captains Lucius, Julius Caesaron, and Marius Virosian would begin their ministrations, freeing their Gene Father from the demon's clutches.
They pulled
Fulgrim
through.
would reveal himself to be biding his time and understanding the creature from within.
Oh.
Spurred to take the demon unawares, Fulgrim would dominate the entity and resume control of
He
his
did
body.
it! Fulgrim!
Now armed with an intimate understanding of the foul inner workings of demonology, Fulgrim would petition aid from the 4th Legion Primarch, Perturabo, to accompany him on a journey to explore his newfound understanding. A journey to the Crone World of
Hydra.
Idris.
Oh.
Alongside the Iron Warriors, the Emperor's children would venture into the heart of the Eye of Terror, promising the...
I think I did remember this dude right. So these people exorcise the demons, and you know, he's now going to have control of that sword. And his story is a tragic one, but we apparently get the homie back on the side of good. And I quote that because there is no good, such as loyalty to the Imperium, you know?
The Lord of Iron a wondrous power of immense value within the Ocularis Terribus. Fulgrim would not divulge the true intention behind their voyage.
Oh, they don't know he's been
Despite enduring an ambush perpetrated by the shattered Legion Astartes of the vessel, Sisypheum, the Primarchs would continue their traversal to the Crone World. Upon the world of Idris, Fulgrim would discover the tomb of the so-called Angel Exterminatus within the sepulchre of Isha's doom. The distilled essence of the countless perished souls rent from the birth of She Who Firsts, the orb of jade light which shine ablaze alike to a miniature sun.
Okay.
Draining strength from his brother, Perturabo, Fulgrim would harvest the power of the Hollow World and the Lord of Iron to achieve his apotheosis.
Apotheosis.
As a demon prince of Slanesh, Fulgrim's skin would mutate into a 4-armed serpentine creature.
Jeez.
Departing from the planet with his Emperor's children, Fulgrim's ascension would be bought at the cost of the ever-dwindling loyalty of his brothers.
What?
Further influencing his legion to become ever more debased and mutated.
No!
Fulgrim would wage war
I give up on
the
Fulgrim.
Horus heresy as a distracted, stimuli-obsessed monster.
Stimuli-obsessed monster.
For even during the final battle of the war...
Look at his
Siege of
eyes.
Terror, Fulgrim and his legion would busy themselves not with direction, discipline or focus, but with the torture and mutilation of the civilian
Ooh,
populace.
what?
The traitor war effort would fail, in part due to the 3rd Legion's wanton indulgences, and force Fulgrim and the Emperor's children to retreat into the
They
Iron
were so
Tower.
distracted from what they needed to do,
Abusing
they
and
end up
exploiting their
losing.
captured slaves, the Emperor's children would
Crazy.
seek new prey to enact their perversions.
Their
Fulgrim
perversions.
would lead his fragmented and wayward sons to ever more heretical pursuits of indulgences. The
Like what
traitors
else,
would turn
fam?
on one another, as all duplicitous betrayers unbound from honor and discipline are wont to do.
That makes sense. Once you're a
With the
traitor,
Legion
you're a traitor
Wars
to anybody.
incurring a heavy toll on every traitor legion, the Emperor's children would not be spared such losses. Devolving into small war bands, Fulgrim's lack of leadership or grand objective would divide his once proud legion. Though whilst the 3rd Legion may be divided and without direction, the Demon Primarch's influence still brings ruination to the galaxy. Confronted by the Primarch of the Ultramarines, Rabute Guilliman, during the scouring of the traitors, following their failed coup,
of the traitors.
Fulgrim would prove to be a dangerous foe.
This guy
During
Fulgrim.
121 with M31, the 13th Legion would seek retribution from the Emperor's children at the Battle of Fassala. Dueling the Ultramarines Primarch in single combat, Fulgrim would prove to be a deadly opponent, and with his chaos-infused form, slice the throat of Rabute Guilliman with a poison-infused blade.
Okay.
Damning Guilliman to a 10,000-year stasis-fueled slumber, within Macrank's temple of
10,000
correction.
years.
The Phoenicians' actions would deal the Imperium a fatal blow, which would be felt for millennia.
Jeez.
Yet with the
Literally.
return of the Avenging Sun during 999.M41,
Oh,
the
at 999, that's a
resurgent
year.
wrath
Took
demands
me a while.
vengeance against
I had
the
to look up
Phoenician.
what 999941
And despite his long
means.
seclusion within the Eye of Terror,
To even let you guys know, it's not the first time I noted it. I was like 9941, and then I have it just written down right here in my notes. So I gotta go 941M41 is a year in Warhammer. Why? So I was like, why do they do their years like that? But anyways, I got it written down, so I'm going to follow up with it.
insists that the chosen demon Primarch of Slaanesh once more unites his legion for war. His never-ending quest for his debased pleasures,
Debased
once
pleasures.
more unleashed
Oh
upon the
my
galaxy.
god.
That which causes us trials shall yield us triumph. That which makes our hearts ache shall fill us with gladness. For the only true happiness is to learn, to advance and improve.
Learn, advance, and improve.
None of this could happen without rejecting error, ignorance, and imperfection. We must pass out of the darkness to reach the light.
So I'm going to do something that I never thought of until now, which is to rank the ones I like the most. So let's see if you guys will crucify me. Please let me be. L. Johnson, the Lion, okay? And second, just because I only have two, it's going to be this dude Fulgrim. And or the storyline. This video, his storyline isn't as hype in my opinion as L. Johnson's. That's just for me. I like that L. Johnson was good. He saved his planet. He was out there fighting. He has someone that wanted to betray him or planned to betray him. My man was loyal to the Empire, disbodying people, dudes seeing the future. It was so dramatic. I think also even the music was good. Do you guys remember? There was a scene, well, whatever. The point is, this Fulcrum storyline was more like sad and depressing, bro. So I'm like, I don't know about all that. By the way, I don't dislike the character in terms of entertaining. It's definitely an entertaining character, but also disappointing, man. There's something about watching someone just fall to darkness and fall to, you know, persuasion or whatever. And it's just sad. But I get it. These warp / chaos forces, 'cause I still get confused about which is the influence. Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, you can, but some, you know, they're strong forces. And in the case of Fulcrum, Horus, I think Horus had sent him somewhere knowing the forces would be quite persuasive to him. And then Slaanesh, one of the chaos gods, you know, gives him this sword, and you just know it's going to tempt him. He's literally thinking his thoughts are his own, and it's his sword talking. And you can just imagine what that would do. You know, you just look at somebody, and like, I don't want you to smack him. It's like, I should smack him, shouldn't I? And it's like, that wasn't my thought. That's the goddamn AI talking to me, making me think that these are my own thoughts. So I see what it's doing to him. So in no shape or form do I take his situation lightly. It just sucks, man. Like, that's how you went out, dude. I think I would have not felt so sad for Fulcrum if he was in the Horus position. So I'm looking forward to seeing how I feel when I get to Horus's position, because Horus is,
Imperium.
you know, leading this. And I ain't gonna lie, I know it's gonna be Horus
Imperium
with the
would
betrayal.
embody
So
the
I guess I'm
greatest
ready for
virtues
it.
and glories.
But let's see what I'm gonna get to Horus. Ooh, it's gonna be a while before I get to Horus. Do you think I have to watch? I'm gonna assume that I should watch it in order. But anyways, I like the video. I like the lore. I'm gonna keep ranking my characters. It's all gonna be with total respect. I'm actually looking forward right now to Jagata, because Jagata Khan, because I like his clan a lot. The Wolf King I'm looking forward to, and Ferrus Manus is over here. The Salamanders is who I'm looking for, and I can't easily identify them here. Salamanders. It must be this fire one. No, it can't be Great Angel. Oh well, they're gonna find out. I'll know once I get to him. Anyways, guys, yo, much love. If you guys have any additional content you guys want to recommend, whatever it is, the pinned comment is where you guys want to be. That way, when I'm just looking back at some of the things you guys suggested, I don't have to look all over the comment section. It's right here in the pinned comment, folks. Until next time, I'm Rock D. Lee, and I'm out. And you know I couldn't stop at just one channel. Consider subscribing to the subsidiary channels for Yaboyrocklee, found in the description of this video. Thank you.